This week's edition of NJBIA's Minding Your Business is brought to you in part by AT&T, helping family, friends, and neighbors connect in meaningful ways every day. PPAC Gladstone Bank, known nationally and in New Jersey for providing unparalleled client service, integrity, and trust for over 100 years. New Jersey's community colleges, aligning education to build an innovative workforce. Find out how your business can benefit at njpathways.org. And by New Jersey Business Magazine, providing critical information needs for New Jersey's business community for more than 66 years.
Welcome to NJBIA's Mind Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, despite calls from the legislature to ease burdens on New Jersey businesses, there's newer legislation getting traction in Trenton that effectively removes the right of certain business owners to make their own personnel decisions. Here to discuss what she calls the troubling service worker bill is NJBIA Vice President of Government Affairs, Alexis Bailey. Alexis, thank you for being back on the show.
Thank you for having me. Always happy to be here.
Yeah, we love having you here. And this bill, I'll read it right from the top here. It's S2389/A4682. It's sponsored by Senators Troy Singleton, Andrew Zwicker, and on the Senate side, and on the Assembly side, Gary Scher, Brittany Timberlake, and Joe Danielson. So, Alexis, tell us what this bill is all about.
So this piece of legislation is following a trend that we've seen over the past few years in New Jersey of mandating the retention of employees during changes of contracts. So this one, I would say, is the most far-reaching bill that we've seen yet, because this captures a ton of different service workers, cleaning people, security, grounds maintenance, those type of workers, at a number of different covered locations. We're talking warehouses, healthcare facilities, pharmaceutical labs, large offices, you name it, you're probably in the bill. And if you change any of your service contracts at those locations, you have to retain the employees.
Okay, so even like a hospital might even be, would they be?
Absolutely, they're covered here.
Okay, so give me an example. How would this work? Some folks might not know what service worker contracts are.
So say there's a large office building, they hire Alexis Bailey Cleaning Services, and I'm not doing a good job, they don't like my services for whatever reason, they want to hire Bob Considine's Cleaning Services. In order to have that contract, your company would have to retain my employees for 90 days. So whether I have a different job that, my workers can go clean a different building, whether you have workers that you wanted to bring in to have that job, or if the office building wasn't satisfied and didn't like those employees, doesn't matter, you have to retain them for 90 days.
That's incredible. By the way, if I did have a cleaning company, I'd call it Partners in Grime.
That's a good one.
All right, or the Mop Squad.
I have to think of a good example for when I talk about this.
So what are the penalties for something like this?
So to add insult to injury in this bill, if you don't properly retain the employees, on a second violation, you can face imprisonment. But the way that violations are defined in the bill, it's week 2 that you don't retain the employees. So on day 8 of this 90-day period, you can face jail time for not retaining employees that weren't even yours in the first place.
Right. And so you're ringing the bell on this because, as you said, it is so wide-ranging. Do you feel like maybe business owners aren't quite aware of it yet? I mean, there's so much that passes through Trenton on a daily basis.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep up with if you're not a large company that has a elite government affairs team. That's why we really take it seriously on making sure that we're informing our members. But this is really impactful for business owners and also the public at large. I mean, we're talking about cleaning staff at healthcare facilities or security workers at pharmaceutical labs. This is going to have really far-reaching impacts on New Jersey.
I was just thinking maybe health and safety could be impacted.
Absolutely.
How?
Absolutely. I mean, if we're talking about a healthcare facility that's now required for 90 days, a whole quarter of the year, to retain inadequate cleaning staff, that has real health and safety implications for all New Jerseyans, and people should really be concerned about this.
Okay, so for the folks I mentioned who are sponsoring, they're supporters of this bill, what is the intent here for this? Is it basically employee retention, make sure nobody gets fired? Is that basically it?
Yes, it's intended to be a worker protection mechanism, but luckily in the state of New Jersey, we have some of the strongest worker protection laws on the books already. We have extreme mass layoff protections where we have severance requirements for employees. We have very strong unemployment insurance systems. So I really don't think this is necessary. And like I said in some of the examples, these workers may not even be losing employment if their previous employer has someone else that they can, bring them to a different job.
That's interesting. What about in terms of, I would imagine maybe the supporters like, well, it's only 90 days. What's the big deal?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard from some people talking about this bill. And to that I say it's 90 days of potentially inadequate cleaning, security, grounds maintenance, concierge services that are critical to business owners and also to the public at large. 90 days of inadequate service is way too long.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's a quarter for some, and some people I'm thinking, small businesses have, and large businesses, they have small margins. So a quarter could make or break you for a year, potentially, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the health and safety, it's cost savings. If you can find a company that can come at a better time for you to do these services, all these things, businesses should have the opportunity to make these decisions as they see fit. And as I've said to the legislature, our members are not changing their service contracts, every day, every week. It's a lot of work to change them.
Right.
If they're making those decisions, it's for a valid reason.
Yeah, very good, very good. And how far has this gotten in the legislature?
So this is passed through committees on both sides, so
Wow.
it can be up for a vote at any time in the Senate and the Assembly. So I'm encouraging all of our members to remain vigilant, reach out to their legislators if they have concerns with this, because this is something that could be considered in this spring.
Right. And there's been similar legislation to this, right, in the past year, signed by Governor Murphy.
Yes. So there was 90-day retention mandates for the sale of healthcare facilities as well as hotels. This bill, as I mentioned, is much more far-reaching because it doesn't just impact the sale of those businesses and retaining the service workers, but it also includes this vendor-to-vendor, contract-to-contract change as well.
Very good. I mentioned at the onset, Alexis, that New Jersey has a certain reputation in terms of being tough on businesses. And there was some calls, we're going to make burdens a little less for businesses, at least at the beginning of the year. What do you think this bill or bills does to that reputation for New Jersey of not being business friendly?
I think unfortunately this adds to our reputation of not being friendly to business and really making it known that New Jersey is a place that our state doesn't even want you to be able to make your own hiring and retention decisions. Yeah. And I think that's a basic fundamental principle of business, and we need to make sure that you're allowed to retain your employees as you see fit. That's the most important asset of a business, and us sending this message that we're not even going to let you freely make those choices really is harmful to our reputation.
Yeah, and then you could see prison time for making those decisions. It does seem a bit extreme.
Absolutely.
All right, another bill on your ledger here is the something called the Salary Transparency Bill. I've read about it, heard about it. What is it?
So Assemblyman Moriarty and Assemblywoman Timberlake has a version as well of a salary transparency bill, which would essentially require all employers to include salary ranges on all new job postings. Assemblyman Moriarty's bill was up in committee for discussion only. It has some other components that we're seeking some amendments on, which would also require employers to announce to their current workers any promotional opportunities that are available to them, as well as includes a private right of action provision in the bill, which could lead to litigation.
Wait, what's private right of action? Explain to people.
So basically that would allow for aggrieved parties to file like a class action lawsuit. So right now that's kind of undefined of what the aggrieved party would be. If I see a job posting and it doesn't include the salary range, could I then file a lawsuit against that business? That's something that we're speaking with Assemblyman Moriarty about and are hopeful that we can get that removed from the bill.
And you mentioned some of the amendments. What is the one you were looking at in terms of the size of the company that could be impacted?
So right now, as written, Assemblyman Moriarty's bill impacts businesses with 5 or more employees. We've had some discussions with him to be able to move that up to at least 10 or more employees because we know small businesses don't have, big HR teams or even government affairs teams that are telling them when these new things are coming out. So to kind of alleviate that burden for small business.
Okay. Is this something that's going on in other states anyway?
Yes, we've seen it. New York is most notable that they've had this type of mandate just recently put into place. So it is a trend that we're seeing across the country.
Are businesses doing this anyway sometimes?
I've seen a stat that there's nearly 40% of businesses in New Jersey that are already doing this. Right. I think employers are always making decisions on how they can be most competitive to attract and retain workers. And if this is a tool in their toolbox, they're going to use it already if they want to.
And mention, you just go back on one thing you said, the promotion amendment you're looking for. Explain that a little bit more.
So the current bill would require anytime there's a promotional opportunity available within a company that it needs to be announced a day before to everyone in the company.
I see.
So yes, if you're going to get a promotion here at NJBIA, I would not at all be qualified for that.
Oh, that's not true.
So they would have to announce that to the whole company when really it could just be a reward for a worker that's doing a good job.
Right. You get a promotion for, I see.
Yeah, and that's typically how promotions work in companies anyways.
Okay, and where is that bill right now on the salary transparency? How far has that gotten in the legislature?
So it's only gone through one committee for discussion only, so it would still have to get a full vote in the Assembly Labor Committee, and it hasn't moved at all on the Senate side.
Yeah, so as we're recording this, we're kind of right in the heart of budget season. Are these labor bills, will they be picked right back up as soon as the budget discussion is completed?
So they can move in May and June. The legislature will be back to their regular committee schedule as well as working on the budget. So there's voting sessions at the end of May and one at the end of June as well. So the service workers bill can be up then, and the salary range bill can move through committee at any time as well.
And I have one last question as you were talking. I was reminded about a bill, and we did not discuss this previously, but there was one bill, I hope you're going to explain it, where labor unions would be able to identify employers who might be doing the wrong things and might be able to kind of pursue them legally. Is that it?
Yes, so there was a bill that went through, it passed on the Senate side, hasn't moved. I don't believe there's a bill number on the Assembly side yet, but it would essentially, it's focused on the construction industry, and it would allow unions to file wage claim suits on behalf of workers that aren't part of their unions, which we see as extremely problematic. We know that the Department of Labor already has mechanisms to, we have some of the strongest worker misclassification laws in the nation. So if we're seeing someone that's being unfairly paid, if they're being listed as an independent contractor when they shouldn't be, the Department of Labor is well within their power to deal with those situations on their own.
Yeah, especially if they're not part of that union.
Exactly.
Well, Alexis Bailey, you've been doing a great job standing up for employer rights in Trenton, and thanks for being here and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be back right after these words.
The thing that makes PPAC stand apart from its competition is really around the bank's product set that brings a business from its inception all the way to the point of where they either transfer wealth to a second generation or they end up selling the business. Quite often, a business gets started with either a home equity loan or a small business loan, and eventually the company will grow into a small business, into our mid-market space. And at one point, the owner will make a decision either to transfer the wealth to a second or third generation or sell the business. And oh, by the way, we have a wealth company that would love to manage the wealth upon it. When I look at our competition, whether they're big or small, most companies do not have that product set from beginning to end. We do. We may be a smaller bank, but we are very strong when it comes to the mid-market space and how to service it.
We are made to connect. Stepping into limitless possibilities. As we create with purpose, influencing the culture as we rise. Contributing to a world of inspiration.
We are Black Future Makers.
Welcome back to NJBIA's Mind Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, the prestigious AT&T Community Impact Award recognizes exceptional AT&T employees who are making significant contributions to their communities. Nominations for this award come from all over the world, and it just so happens that 2 of the 5 winners this year are from right here in New Jersey, and they're right here in our studio. Jackie Jackson and Jay Perez from AT&T New Jersey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
And congratulations, it's a big deal.
It is. Thank you so much. We're honored to have been represented in this award, and thankful for the opportunity to do more as a result of it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about exactly what you guys have done. It's really been impressive. Jackie, we should get started. You are the Director of East Region Sales and Distributions at AT&T. So I want to know, what does your work entail and how long have you been with the company? So
I've been with AT&T for about 20 years.
Wow.
And I manage our retail stores, our retail distribution growth, and in today's environment, we manage our costs tightly.
Right. EBITDA.
All
right. Yeah, we'll get into that later. And you have 3 I read in my notes, you have 3 patents in wireless voicemail technology?
Yes, I do. So as a part of the iPhone launch, we developed a new voicemail solution called Visual Voicemail.
Right.
And as a result of that work, I received 3 patents in wireless technology, which is really awesome.
That is amazing. And that's 4 more than any of us have here in the room. And Jay, you are the senior counsel for AT&T's legal department. What kind of work does that entail?
So I'm a transactional attorney. Okay. I write contracts and I help my clients negotiate deals, business deals, and then put together the legal papers and contracts whenever we buy business.
Okay,
do
good.
Business.
Busy stuff.
Yes.
And how long have you been with AT&T?
I've been with AT&T for 23 years now.
23 years. So it's 20. We got a good competition here.
Yeah.
Do you have any patents?
No patents. Jackie's certainly the leader there.
All right. So Jackie, you won the AT&T Community Impact Award in the Digital Divide category. So through AT&T, Jobs for America's Graduates will get a $15,000 contribution. So Jackie, talk about this. Jobs for America's Graduates, great program. What do you know about it? What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, we've been partnering with Jobs for America's Graduates New Jersey for over 10 years.
Right.
We started off with Weequahic High School in Newark, and our program was to provide work readiness skills. And we'd have our AT&T employees go to Weequahic, explain what they do, how they do it, and what skills they need to develop. And then we'd bring them to our AT&T retail stores and have a day-long job shadow so they could see our technology, see how we sell, how we do business, and just learn about a job opportunity for them in the future when they graduate. So we started there. Then we started giving scholarships out to Jobs for American graduates and other New Jersey students to encourage them to study in STEM. So that's how it started for me, and then it just grew and grew after that.
So that's why you basically selected that organization for your award, because you've been there for so long.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how can others get involved with JAG? And this is the New Jersey chapter, correct?
Yes. So more or less reach out to the JAG organization. They're a part of the New Jersey Foundation here in Trenton, New Jersey. And look for opportunities to mentor students. This $15,000 donation is going to go towards laptops for graduating seniors.
Great.
So we're again focusing on the digital divide and making sure that everyone has internet access and computer technology to move forward in their lives.
That's tremendous. Great work. And Jay Perez, AT&T Community Impact Award in the environment category. So this is a big deal for you, Jay. And you, through your work, Sustainable Jersey is going to get a $15,000 contribution from AT&T as well.
That's right.
Great program with Sustainable Jersey. NJBIA has worked with them in the past before. But tell the folks a little bit about this organization.
So Sustainable Jersey is an organization. As I talk to people, it's a movement actually of passionate people who care about the environment and making changes, undertaking projects within our communities to protect the environment and to ensure that we have a clean and sustainable world, so that life is good here in New Jersey.
That's great. And how can people learn more or get involved with Sustainable Jersey?
Well, if people want to get involved with Sustainable Jersey, I recommend that they go to Town Hall and try to reach the environmental chair or the town mayor and council and see if there's an environmental committee. And there might be a green team. That's the local organization, town by town, that's affiliated with Sustainable Jersey. If there's not a green team, then they can just go to sustainablejersey.com and try to join the regional hub. And there will be spots for all volunteers who are willing to come and help.
Yeah, and they're definitely very receptive, so good work on you. I want to ask both of you, and Jackie, you could start. Volunteerism, something that is so important. Not a lot of people have the time to do it. You seem to make the time, both of you seem to make the time to do it. Why do you make that your priority in life? Why is this so important to you?
Well, I can say for me, my mother came from Belize and was a single parent growing up. I never had a mentor. So I mentor students, thousands of them over the years, because I want to give them an opportunity that I never had. And secondly, scholarship money is really important. There's never enough for students given the cost of education. And so my goal is to make sure that every student that I interact with has a computer when they go to college. So those are my passions. And I'd encourage anyone else to kind of find their passions, whatever that is, and that'll lead you to those volunteer opportunities. And then it won't be as much time because you're doing what you're passionate about. And
you've been doing this for so long. Different thing. If you Google Jackie, you'll find. I did a quick thing. You mentioned Weequahic High School. I've seen cleanups you did in Newark. I saw you help people build homes with
Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, exactly. And the Christian Center Food Pantry in Somerset. What kind of satisfaction does that give you? I mean, at the end of the day, you're working for AT&T, but you're allowed to do this stuff. How does that help your life balance, I guess?
Well, I think we all need to give back. I mean, it's kind of like when you're blessed, then you want to extend those blessings to others. And for me, I've had a great career in working at AT&T, and I have time now as AT&T allows its employees to give back. So it's a win-win. We can do it within the bounds of the company, and we have support from the company. And as a matter of fact, AT&T is so great about it. Pick an idea and invite some of your AT&T family and friends. As you see, I've tweeted out, and it just happens. It's really easy to do because we have that support from AT&T that makes it a lot easier for employees to feel free to do those things in their spare time and even during the workday.
Yeah, absolutely great job by AT&T. We'll get into that a little more in a moment. But Jay, how did you get into environmental causes? What kind of drove you to this?
As I reflect back and I think about the first instance that really made me think about the environment was after graduating from college, I traveled throughout Micronesia on a postgraduate fellowship.
Okay.
My parents are from Guam, so I wanted to go see Micronesia. And as I traveled to some of the very remote islands out there in the Western Pacific, for the first time I saw garbage. And I thought that my ancestors, as they ate mangoes or they ate fish, it would just biodegrade in the environment.
Yeah.
But now there was something new and different. And there was plastic and metal and things that just didn't exist before. And I thought that this was a shame and we need to do something about it. And so I started talking about that. And from there in college, I was an environmentalist in college. I got rid of styrofoam on my college campus. And it's just been continued now to
you mentioned the styrofoam. I know you're the chair of the Upper Saddle River Environment Committee, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So I've never seen a bigger collection of styrofoam than what you guys are cleaning up over there. Is that kind of what else do you do with that committee?
Yeah, so we do collect styrofoam, and I'm really excited about that because actually that's being driven now by high school students.
Nice.
They're the ones that are contacting me and say, "Can we do another collection? Can we do this?" They enjoy it. They like protecting the environment without getting engaged. Beyond styrofoam collection, we spend a lot of time on renewable energy, solar energy, and just educating residents and people in Bergen County about things they can do to be green and how they can save some money at the same time.
Yeah.
Whether it's installing solar panels on their home, buying renewable energy, because here in New Jersey you have energy choice.
Yeah.
You can choose energy, whether you want wind energy, solar energy, nuclear energy, any type you want.
Yep. Renewable gas too.
Renewable gas.
Yep.
We spent a lot of time providing a neutral place where people can learn about electric vehicles and why they should consider getting an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Everything, composting, cleaning our river, and there's so much to do.
And did I see you facilitated EV adoption and wrote a municipal ordinance to permit the installation of EV charging stations?
Yeah.
This is a big deal. My gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're busy.
Yeah, it was busy. That was very fulfilling. I'm an attorney, so they looked to me to help write that ordinance.
Right.
And essentially, if we're going to pivot to an economy that allows people to drive electric vehicles, you need to have chargers. And you want to try to make sure that there aren't municipal regulations that prohibit chargers. So I wrote an ordinance that essentially said that homeowners can put in a charger without having to go through an exhaustive regulatory process, and businesses, if they want to put chargers for their employees, or if the local gas station wants to put in an additional charger, they don't need to go get variance relief.
Very good.
Other things like that.
Very good.
Just making it easy.
That's great. And just last question, but Jackie, you did hit on it. I want to get more out of this. AT&T, corporate stewardship, so big for them. And they have their core values and they want their employees to get involved. Is this something that registers with all the employees with the company? I mean, this is such a great thing that they're doing, and it's a great opportunity. What do you hear from people you work with?
I think everybody says to me, even as a part of this Community Impact Award, I'd love to get more involved.
Yeah.
And then it's just finding the time to do it.
Yeah.
But I'd say from the top, over the last 10, 15 years, I've seen our leadership embrace all of the things that I do, whether it's mentoring students. I had our former president and COO, Ralph De La Vega, he came out and he made sure that he was a part of the day-long mentoring, telling his story. And I think everyone has a story. And so that's what I encourage employees. Sometimes they're a little hesitant.
Yeah.
What do I need to know? What do I need to do? I'm like, just bring yourself. Yep. And it's amazing how much of insights and information and knowledge that they can share with the students that they didn't even realize that was important to them. Especially in this world where most of the jobs are in the STEM field. Our AT&T employees are a very valuable resource in explaining how they do their jobs and what you'd even study in college. And so we're bridging that gap back to the students so that they have those opportunities that they may have never even known existed.
All right. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, it's great to work at AT&T where they truly do support the passions that their employees want to seek out and work on.
Right.
AT&T gives all employees 1 day a year to go and take some time off from work and go support the volunteer activity of their choice. But also, even during the workday, there are opportunities to participate. Just yesterday, I participated in an environmental champions program, and there were hundreds of people on the line. It was a Teams interactive committee where we were crowdsourcing ideas of things that AT&T employees could do at the office or at home to make their lives greener, to save money, and to be sustainable. So It's really great.
Well, great work. Again, great work by you guys. Great job by AT&T with their Community Impact Awards. Jay Perez, Jackie Jackson, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after these words.
You're first. First to respond. First to put others' lives before your own. And in an emergency, you need a network that puts you first, that connects you to technology and each other, that's built with and for first responders. FirstNet, the only officially authorized wireless network for first responders. Because putting you first is our job.
In conclusion today, NJBIA and Minding Your Business recently had the pleasure of attending the celebration of ZAGO Manufacturing's 30-year anniversary in Newark, and we learned about their tremendous history as a startup with sustainable practices and how they're forwarding into the future. Take a look.
A successful business isn't created in a vacuum. It requires collaboration. It requires support. It requires amazing employees, and we have the best employees. Thank you.
I had a dream of a creative place where people, a creative organization filled with people working together to create and manufacture product that can be used in all type of industry. It's medical, automotives, all industry that can benefit from a small product and make a big difference. And this dream would not have been possible without the hard work of our great team.
I've been fortunate enough to have been on this journey with ZAGO for 16 years now. I've had great mentors. While I've been working at ZAGO, part of me has taught me everything there is to know about this business and about manufacturing. Gail has taught me how to be a more compassionate leader, to listen more than you speak, to really learn and listen what people's needs are so that you can better help them. Gail and ZAGO embodies just such an amazing Newark story. She started here at NJIT at the EDC and then outgrew that space and then stayed and invested in Newark. She refurbished a 100-year-old factory building in Newark's proud South Ward and filled it with innovation and a local, diverse, and passionate workforce.
Great businesses make great communities. And great business leaders who make great businesses make great communities. This is a testament to what we stand for each and every day. And that's why we are so proud to advocate for companies like ZAGO and companies just like you. Because when you wake up every day, when you bring something into your company, it goes back into your company and into your people. And when we see a story like this, 30 years, born and raised here in Newark at NJIT, and continuing to give back, employing the local workforce and giving back to the community each and every day, that's the story, and that's why this company is successful, and that's what we're proud to stand up for.
We've spent 30 years just trying to get better. So we've had 30 years to get good, and we'll have the next 30 years to get even better.
All right, congratulations to the great team at ZAGO Manufacturing, and here's to another 30 years. And thank you for joining us on NJBIA's Minding Your Business. We'll see you next time.